June 20th, I will be at the Bell House in Brooklyn with Heather Gay and Matt Rogers live. So get your tickets, LeahMcSweeneyLive.com. On July 12th, I will be in Los Angeles with Annie Lederman and another special guest who I'm going to be announcing soon. Make sure you get your tickets for that too.
The building next door, 366, my best friend growing up lived there, and that's where I would always go when I was kicked out of the house.
Really?
Yeah, I had my own key and everything.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
And her parents are still there. We were there for Seder, a couple weeks ago.
Wow. It's the Leah McSweeney Show. Welcome to the Leah McSweeney Show. My guest today is the amazing Gabriel Held. I wanted to talk about, I want to talk to you about how you started. And for anyone listening and watching, Gabriel has the most amazing collection.
Thank you.
Of vintage, designer, everything, from apparel to bags and shoes and jewelry. And just about anything you can think of. It's kind of... I remember going to your space for the first time and being like, I'm in like a fucking like museum, but also like I want to like live in this place and wear something from here every day.
I think of it as like Shiwi's Playhouse.
Yes.
It's very wacky.
Yes, it's wacky. It's cool as fuck. Shiwi's Playhouse.
But I love it. And I've come to embrace like, a spot that I've been at for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's not a slick, showroom. It's like
it's reminiscent.
Real New York.
It's reminiscent. It's real New York. It's like eccentric.
It's like a real loft.
It's
like,
cool as
not
fuck.
A loft style apartment.
Right.
It's like a real factory building. That's tricked out with some pretty unique stuff.
Yeah. But when did you start like collecting all of that? Like, how did this happen? Because the amount of stuff that you've amassed is amazing. And I want to hear about all the people that you've worked with and who you've lent things to and bought things for and who your style inspirations were growing up. Because this is like the stuff that I'm really curious about.
Okay, so let's take it from the top. How did I start collecting? This goes back to being, a less privileged student at an affluent school.
Which, I had that experience
I know.
As well.
I think that's part of our kindred, nature.
Yeah.
Is like, it's a unique experience to have.
Yeah, it is.
Because you might be like reaping some of the benefits of, proximity to wealth without actually like going home and not having to worry about money.
For sure. And I want to say, like, I was well taken care of.
Yes, me too.
We were very just middle class, which was awesome. But going to a school like that makes you, the disparity is so wide and so big. And I got fucked up in the head from that shit.
That's, I think, psychologically, that's why I'm such like a label whore. Loud wealth. Right. Like not quiet wealth.
Not quiet luxury, honey. This is all about screaming from the rooftop.
Exactly. And even if it's fake, it's still like,
Yeah.
But so I was always good though at scavenging. I like became interested in fashion, pretty early. Like my earliest fashion memories are probably around like 6-7 years old. But by, 5th grade, I was like looking at Vogue and stuff.
Same.
And, I was always good at scavenging, and like first memory I have of buying something for somebody other than myself was there was this Anna Sui who was like one of the big ones to me in the 90s.
Big time. And her store, I don't think it's still there.
I don't think so.
But I remember going there too.
Oh,
and buying like little baby, she had baby tees,
that's
which
exactly
were like the ones
what
that I could afford, and like perfume and
there
Anna
was
Sui was dope.
there was a flea market in Park Slope at PS, I don't know, at some public school on the weekend, and they had one of these Anna Sui like Cupid doll baby tees that was like $3, so that was in my price range, and my mother would never have let me wear it, but I brought back a girlfriend who had money, and I was just like, you have money to spare, you should just buy this $3 thing because like I can't have it, but I want somebody to. And so I kind of was what they call now sourcing, vintage and thrift and consignment store and outlet stuff,
right?
all through high school with
What
my little
stores were you going to?
Well, I will say shout out to Ina, which is the first job I ever had, a consignment
cool.
store.
Oh yeah, Ina's so good.
Oh, and we worked with Pat Fields on Sex and the City costumes when I was like interning there. That was very fun.
Wow.
Because Pat Fields was actually a store that I like.
Of course.
I was always window shopping because it wasn't in my price range, honestly, and it wasn't like expensive or anything. But
I made my mom buy me
your prom dress was from Pat Fields.
Yeah, I was actually only 13. It wasn't prom. It was just a Christmas formal.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay.
and I got that long purple dress that I wore on The Housewives, and I still have it, and I'll never let it go because it's one of the best memories ever of my mom bringing me to Pat Fields and drag queens being like, let her buy this. She looks so good in it. She needs it. And my mom like looking at like there's giant cocks like spray painted on the walls and stuff, you know.
Your Catholic mom.
Yeah, my Catholic mom. Yeah.
I remember actually the first I went more so to Hotel Venus on West Broadway, her other store.
Yeah, so good.
You remember it had like the Japanese photo booth where you could get your little Polaroids with all the like anime.
What about Smile on Nylon? Do you remember Smile on Nylon? Okay,
that was
on
some
Lafayette.
gaps in my.
Okay.
There's some gaps in my knowledge, but I remember going to Hotel Venus with my grandmother in 5th grade. I wanted like a chinoise, you know, like blouse or something.
Right.
And Amanda Lepore and Sophia Lamar were working there, you know, as they like usually were.
Queens.
And I was, you know, like 11 and self-conscious like all 11-year-olds probably are.
Of course.
And Sophia was like, you mind share a fitting room? And I was like, I don't know. She said, come on, be free party with us. And then I think enough time has passed that it's okay for me to say this, but it was my job to distract her while my friends would shoplift the hard candy eyeshadow compact.
Oh my God, the hard candy. Hard candy was the best.
It was they could have a rebrand. They could relaunch in a second.
Fucking in 1 second. The ring that came on the nail polish. It's all about the fucking pastel nail polish with the ring on it.
And their ad campaigns were so good.
Oh my God. Everything was so good back then.
But yes, I would talk to Sophia and be like, well, that's a lovely accent. Where do you come from? I'm from Boise, Idaho. I'm a real potato head.
Wait, is she really
No, she's from Cuba.
Oh, okay.
She's, I think, like a Cuban asylum seeker or something.
Wow.
And then, funnily enough, after I went to college and I came back, you know, to New York in my early 20s and started going out, she remembered me. She was like, "You are a little boy who come to Pat Fields."
You are a little boy who stole.
No, they never know. We were stealing like the testers.
Now they know.
Now they know.
It's okay.
Forgive me. I never stole. I was just the distractor.
You were just a lookout.
Yeah.
Were you out when you were 11?
Yes. Well,
but no,
12.
That's young. Okay, 12.
I mean, people started asking me when I was 11, so I really had to like, you know, make a call.
Right. You're like, either I'm going to say yes or no, right? What are you going to...
Oh my God, I just remembered that they took a poll of how many people thought I would grow up to be a drag queen, and...
Wait, who did that?
Like the other kids in my 5th grade class. And I want to just go on the record,
only in New York. And that was like before, that was like in the fucking 90s.
Yeah,
like, this is not now. That's normal now. They do that. Like, that's like, you have to do that. But back then, like, who was doing that?
I don't know. And I don't know what they're even like.
Were you like annoyed about it? Was it bullying?
It was bullying.
It was, yeah.
I mean, it was bullying. And like, also there was nobody else like in my whole school.
Because it wasn't like it is now.
No, not at all.
It was like looked down upon back then.
Yeah,
or it
totally.
was like very like outsider kind of.
Well, totally. And like, of course, you know, a much larger percentage of the kids I went to school with are out now that they're out of that school, you know, but it was like very conservative kind of environment.
Totally.
And yeah, I mean, and I was not just gay, I was also weird and like relatively poor. So I just had a lot to contend with.
That is a lot to contend with.
But I hope that things are like better for students now, because I remember mostly I would get in trouble for standing up for myself, but like the people who were, you know, bullying me
and
were never like held
provoking.
Accountable or like had any consequences for that. But if I like clapped back, I would get suspended or whatever.
Do you see the kids that teased you? Do you ever see them now? Do they ever like say like anything? Or?
I have seen one or two of them.
They're like trying to have sex with you now, the guys.
Not yet, but that could happen.
It could. That might be healing.
I mean, it's like often a case of like, thou doth protest too much.
Right.
Like,
of course.
You
That's
gotta
what I
pick
think
on,
about,
like,
what's his name? Mike Pence.
Oh, yeah.
He's totally gay.
Any of them. I mean,
he
like,
is gay. Mike Pence is flaming.
I mean, he calls his wife mother.
He's gay. That's why he's so anti-gay and trying to convert people to being straight.
This whole situation, like, they're the ones trying to convert people. We're not trying to convert people to being gay.
Right.
Yeah, there's no gay conversion therapy.
And also, yeah, I mean, you can't, like, you can't turn someone gay.
No.
Just like you can't turn someone straight.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't happen. Or else I would be gay, because I would want to turn myself gay because I'm done with men, but I'm not, because I like dick.
Men are okay,
Have you ever had sex with a woman?
No.
Okay.
But I've hooked up with a woman.
Yeah.
But no, I've never dealt with a vagina.
I would like to have sex with a gay man.
I wonder, I mean, Samantha Jones did it, right? Or did she cop out?
Oh, wait.
She was going to be the third in this gay,
right. I would like that.
You should do it.
I'm going to.
Do it with
I'm gonna manifest
Trixie
it.
and her boyfriend.
Trixie. Brian, honey.
So, back to your question, though.
Yes.
So I would go take my little allowance, buy stuff at the thrift store. So I would go to that thrift store. I would bring things to school and set up my little yard sale, and we'll mark up several 100%. Sell to the girls at school.
Yeah.
Reinvest in more stuff.
Love
and
it.
that kind of just kept going, for years.
Wow, that's so cool.
And then I went to art school. I'm a failed art world Nepo baby where I have the connections. I don't want to sound like I feel superior to Nepo babies, but I never utilized those connections really to get any jobs or anything.
I want to be a Nepo baby. I don't see anything wrong with it. You can't help who you're born to. My goal in life is to make my daughter a Nepo baby.
I mean, well, she could be a Nepo baby.
Yeah, I'm going to try.
Of reality TV, certainly she could be a Nepo.
She doesn't want to have anything to do with that. But I'm not sure what else. I need to do something so she can be it's great that she doesn't want anything to do with that. Thank God. She thinks
she
it's
could be a sneaker Nepo baby.
Yeah, she thinks it's the corniest thing in the world is reality TV.
Yet she's
watching it all.
Up the hills and everything.
She loves it. She loves watching it, but she doesn't want to do it. But maybe with fashion, or I don't know, maybe she can take the realm of mauve and actually make it big.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
She probably wants nothing to do with anything that you're associated with for the next couple of years.
Even me. So
you were saying on another episode, God, I hope my daughter's not listening. And I'm she's probably not.
She's not. She doesn't give a
teenager.
Shit. Exactly. She definitely doesn't. She's not checking for me at all.
Right. Oh, and just to clear up, I say Nepo baby because my grandfather was established in the art world,
right.
And that was the field I was interested in working in, and I went to art school, and I was very focused, and I really came out swinging, thinking I was going to be this or that. In 2008, when the economy crashed, and I was my degree was in interdisciplinary sculpture with a gender theory minor and a photo concentration.
Wow.
So AKA unemployable, no marketable skills.
I mean, yeah, you said it, not me. That's what job are you getting?
I mean, I appreciate that
you could have been a teacher?
I could have been a teacher.
Right. Gender theory must have been
quite
something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure it's evolved since, my time studying it, but it is this whole conversation about a non-binary gender is so old to me.
Right.
It's
it's
the way that I've always felt about it, especially once I studied and had, the language to describe it that way. That it really is not an either or kind of situation. Right. Everybody has, their traits that are more so-called masculine or feminine.
I mean,
and I get in arguments sometimes with people. I need to stay out of the comment section because I do be arguing with people.
You do. I see it. I'm oh, there he goes.
You know what? I make sure all of my arguments, real Virgo, well researched.
Right,
I check my facts and figures. Yes. I fact check everything. Yeah. You're not going to catch me being misinformed about something. But it's too much to get into in the comments even, but the idea that people can't wrap their head around that physical anatomy and physical sex and gender are not inherently related to each other.
Right.
What about having a penis means you like sports or cars or whatever?
Or the color blue.
Right, exactly. It's all was determined by somebody in society at some point, and it just became the norm. And, you know, people, they're like, these non-binary people and these trans people are just showing up out of nowhere. It's like, no.
Oh my God, no.
Like,
I grew up in Chelsea. Like, it's not, this is not new.
Right. You were down 8th Avenue.
Yes.
And we can attest that there were plenty of trans women around all the time.
Oh, yeah.
At any rate, yeah, so you
started selling.
Started applying, you know, after college for like 1 million jobs. I didn't get a single one of them. I applied for over 200 jobs to answer phones at galleries, and I had about 3 interviews and no hires. So I got real beat down, you know, but I had the clothes, and some of my friends were becoming like stylists and working in the industry, and they would just borrow from like what was my wardrobe at the time. And at a certain point when I got like closer to 30, after like 5 years of trying to like force this art world agenda thing that was not working for me, I kind of was like, the universe is making it pretty clear to me that this is not where I'm supposed to be. It wouldn't be such a fucking struggle, you know, if it was meant to be. But people are interested in this thing that I've been doing on the side for most of my life at this point, like the clothes, the collection, and like all of that stuff. So maybe it's worth it to like give it a try. And I do have to say shout out to Lena, because we did this project with another 90s favorite, Todd Oldham.
Oh my God.
Like idol of mine.
Oh my God, I had laminated Todd Oldham
I had them
jeans.
too, from Canal Jeans.
God, yes.
Yes, I had them from Canal Jeans.
I thought I was so cool with them.
Too.
We were so cool with them. We were so cool.
We were cool.
Canal Jeans. Antique Boutique.
Antique Boutique. Do you remember the By the Pound in the basement?
Yes.
$10 a pound, I think it was. At any rate, yeah, long gone. You know what's still here
Jack
that
Threads?
you know what I appreciate is still here is Tokyo 7.
Tokyo 7, yes.
Tokyo
it's
7,
amazing that
Ina
it's still around.
exists.
Ina, yep.
Century 21 is back.
It's back, and guess what? There's mob stuff in there.
Is there?
Go shop.
That's very cool.
It's shipping this week. It'll be
I'm
there.
excited about that.
Me too.
Are you going to do an event or anything?
Not that I have planned yet, but I am working on that.
That would be cool.
It would be, right?
Yeah, Century 21 is such a
iconic
staple.
It's an iconic institution of New York City.
I was really heartbroken because of like all the places I was able to like, you know, get at all these expensive clothes I couldn't afford were like dropping left and right.
I got the sickest
Loman's.
Fendi. Oh, Loman's. Wait, where was Loman's again?
It was in Chelsea. It was on
That's right.
Was it on like it was by Cafeteria.
Yeah, that's right. And then it turned into the Barney. I feel like didn't it?
Oh yeah, on Barney's.
And I know Barney's. That's a sad one.
That is a really sad
I really
one.
miss buying and returning things there.
I miss the warehouse sale.
I was like really like I was a major like you know what, I have a wedding, I'm gonna buy this Cavalli dress. It's basically gonna cost everything that's in my bank account. I'll wear it, I'll return it, and just hope that the funds get returned quickly. I've really been faking it till I'm making it for a long time.
Well, this is a common thing I feel like in the housewives world too.
But also no, this is from going to that fucking school.
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
like, I need to wear a Cavalli dress, even though I really should be buying a fucking, I don't know, like which I don't know what kind of anything but this, you know, like who do I think I am?
I did literally once at Century 21 spend my last pennies on this. Okay, so I do have some Virgo kind of compulsive traits.
Yeah.
And shopping and acquisition of clothes was definitely like had some compulsive tendencies, and that's why it's much better that it's a business for me now than just a personal, you know, habit or whatever, addiction or whatever. Because I would go stay at my friend's parents' apartment next door to this studio that we're in right now, and then I would walk to Century 21, and then eventually walk to Canal Street and get on the J and go back over the bridge to Williamsburg. But I was there. I had paid for in change 2 children's petit bateau tank tops that I was like, I could layer this under a V-neck or something.
Oh my God.
And there was a girl from my school there, and I was like, hey, she was there with her mom, and I was like, I just spent like my last literal nickels and dimes on this. Like, could you spot me train fare? And her mom was like, that's sweet, you gave that homeless boy some money.
Oh my God, no.
Oh God, kids, don't do it. Have a savings account.
Like, wait, but that's funny that you were saying in the housewife world that's
well, there's a lot of, you know,
there's a lot of smoke and mirrors.
Exactly.
Obviously. Yeah. I mean, people are getting exposed and arrested and put in jail and all the things. And, you know, I think there's a lot of unhealthy relationships with money.
And you know what, I would be curious your take on this, because I was just watching a different franchise where, you know, the girl who was the new girl last season is her sophomore season now. And, you know, she threw a party that they all thought was janky last season. So she pulled out all the stops and spent like 50 grand throwing a party. And I'm like, I understand it. I understand you're being put like on this platform with a lot of people looking at you. But like, who wants to be fake rich? Just like,
right? Then you're going to be real broke. Like, I mean, I was not like, never, when I got hired, I was never like, okay, I'm going to pretend I'm rich.
Right.
Like ever.
Right.
I was like, no.
All these people with their like rented mansions and cars.
It's insane.
It's like the whole idea of like
you're
living
blowing
large with
all
no
your
assets.
money.
Like,
you're blowing all your money that you're getting paid from the show to be on the show.
right.
Like,
so you're probably in the red being on the show. You're not even breaking even.
1,000%. If you're not, I mean, well, the Roni women though, they're fucking frugal and smart about it.
I mean, that's New York for you.
They were, yeah, exactly. They were not trying to pretend any which way. They would rewear their clothes. They didn't give a fuck, because with them, it's about their personality.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's the value, was like their personality. Right. And, it wasn't, I don't think people were watching Roni to see
it wasn't
like
about the
outfits.
looks.
Or
I mean, you had looks.
Thank you.
Shout out Alejandra.
Alejandra. Love you, Alejandra.
There was one that you wore that I made perfect sense to me, but I think Sonia was like baffled by it.
Which one?
It was to Sonia's house. I think the first time Ebony came over and you had like
the Marine
Marine Sarah, like a plaid skirt and the Chanel,
and I think
Tinsley Chanel.
Yeah, and the Margiela, like a Margiela jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe a thigh-high boot.
Like, that was a great outfit.
It was a great outfit.
Yeah. You have a close relationship with Misa Hilton.
I do.
Who's like, she's everything.
She is. For those who don't know, Misa is kind of the architect behind the Lil Kim aesthetic.
Yep.
You know, the B-girl aesthetic.
Yeah, which is basically an aesthetic that has now been appropriated and had influence over so many people, and not just in the hip-hop world.
Oh my God, not just in the hip-hop world.
Every single kind of community.
I would say majority of, and this, I don't think this is controversial even. I would say the majority of female rappers are in the lane that Lil Kim created with Misa. You know,
1000%.
where it was not about being sexy or feminine before. It was about being more like tomboyish, you know, MC like Queen Latifah.
Queen Latifah, exactly.
Any of those, you know, early hip hop pioneers. Yep. But they really flipped it, you know, when it was like, let me be out here, you know, showing my body, like talking about my sexuality,
calling myself a hoe,
exactly,
and owning my hoe, and like
proud hoe,
and taking my power back.
Oh, totally,
and being like, no, actually, you're gonna eat my pussy, buy me a Chanel bag, and then I'm gonna like fuck your friend or whatever, like
make you strip naked and leave you on the side of the road,
right,
and then drive away in your car with your wallet.
like I'm gonna fucking kick you out of this limo.
I have to say, like, just on a brief sidebar, when I was, you know, studying gender theory and everything, I had this revelation about why Lil Kim like speaks to me so much, which was that, you know, I'm kind of femme, she's definitely femme, but she was like tough and strong as any, you know, man, and totally I could access my like my toughness through her much more easily than I could through some guy,
you
know, and I told her that too, and she was like, well, he quoted that verbatim, so I know he did really write an essay about this. And
oh my God, I feel, you know, I
know, you know, this is one of our other things that brought us together.
Yes, it's our love for Lil Kim. and when on a deeper level, right, not just like she's so cool and she dresses great and we love her music, it's like she helps us access something about ourselves, right, like she helps us see the world through a lens that makes us feel empowered, and is a feminist icon, even though she would never call herself a feminist, but like she really is. And getting to meet her multiple times now at this point, she's a doll. She's a fucking doll. She's a fucking real one. She's just a real one. That's it. She's a real one. You know, I mean,
I've worked with her only once, and it didn't go exactly as I hoped.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't take away the experience for anything.
Right.
You know, like, I don't really believe in negative experiences because it's an experience and you've learned something.
Too.
And, you know, like,
and also like shoots and stuff, they get stressful. What was it for?
It was a live performance, which is more stressful.
That is more stressful. Where was it? What was it for?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
It was for this Juicy Couture New York Fashion Week party at Public Hotel.
Okay.
Where I was styling her and Paris Hilton for the same thing. With, surprise, no budget, no rate.
There's like
coming out of pocket.
Why isn't there ever a budget?
I don't know, because there isn't. It gets allocated to different things other than like styling.
It's crazy.
But so I was like, this is my idol. I'm not going to put her in an off the rack Juicy Couture.
Right.
You know, but I couldn't afford to hire a designer or anything. So I customized something for her, and it was cool, but we had 7 fittings scheduled and they all got canceled. So first time she's trying it on is like right before the show. It's not going, according to plan, blah, blah, blah. But to be honest, like, that's my idol, and I got to work with her.
Hell
and
yeah, that's cool.
Honestly, I look at the look, like I was showing it to my new intern yesterday, and I was like, if this is the most humiliating look, or I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that.
No, it's not humiliating. You need to send me a photo of it. I want to see it.
It's like really quite, like, it's not bad at all. It's just like, you have a fantasy in your mind, like, I'm going to pull out all the stops.
Fit her properly, right? Because she didn't get fitted. I mean, that's what happens.
That is what happens. Yeah. And, I don't know. I mean, I think the Tibetan Buddhist monks have this practice called transmutation, where they meditate on something they perceive as negative until they see in what way it's positive. And I've like tried to implement that in my life. So first of all, she was nice to me. She never like lost her patience or like spoke, sharply to me or anything.
Which is great, because I'm sure a lot of people, if they were like being put in something that didn't fit them, and I know how that is, like if something's not fitting your body right, like it makes you feel crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
And you have to be in public in it, and it's like, it's fucking frustrating.
No, for sure. And now especially when everybody's filming you and taking your picture.
And everyone's going to be commenting on your body and how you look. Yeah. And it's a nightmare.
But what I will say, though, is all due and credit to Kim for creating kind of the blueprint or whatever of what female hip hop looks like to this day. And some people, think that this generation is more referencing Nicki, but I'm like,
no, Nicki's referencing Kim, which was the issue with them too, right? What do you think about Ice Spice?
You know what? I like her.
I love her.
I like her. I worked with her.
Oh, really?
Yes. It was like right before she like skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Richard Kern, I don't know if you know him, but he shot it. And it was interesting. I think I was told it was her first photo shoot.
Wow.
And so that's special.
That is special. She seems reserved.
She is reserved.
Like her person, I mean, obviously with her music, she's not, but then in interviews and stuff, she's young.
She is young.
She's young. And yeah, she seems like kind of quiet sometimes. And she's finding her way. I love her music.
Me too.
I love her look. I love that she's like from the Bronx.
Me too.
I love her lyrics. I mean, she's amazing. Stop playing with them, Riot.
One thing I will say about this generation of artists too is they're very accustomed to controlling every part of, because they're broadcasting from their bedroom on social media. So they're used to controlling everything about their look, everything about, every aspect of
the
it.
Lighting, the
angle. The angle,
all of it.
All of these young Mariah Careys in training.
Which side they're going to be showing, right? Yeah.
No, I mean, like I said when I sat down, I'm like, I prefer to face the same direction as you because that's my good side.
I know, this is my good side. Sorry. Because this side of my face hangs down. And I was actually just looking at it in the mirror today. And it's so annoying because I'm like, wow, this profile, great. This profile, crackhead.
I see that in myself. I'm like, straight nose, like the hook nose propaganda Jew from the other angle. I can say that as a Jew,
of course. And you're talking about yourself, right? We can
wouldn't talk about anybody else.
We can make fun of ourselves.
Good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
like no one else can say I look like a crackhead except for me.
Yeah. Yes, I think that would be ideal. I'm sure they'll try.
They'll try. I'm still thinking about Ice Spice because I'm really interested in seeing her, her career, and I want her and Lil Kim to do a song together.
I would like that too.
Didn't her and Cardi, or no, her and Nicki. That's right. Her and Nicki
did a song. That's right.
Yeah.
Nicki has such a different approach to the up and coming girls than Kim had with Nicki.
Yeah.
Nicki knows to keep them close and, collaborate with them.
Right.
in a way that Kim is collaborating with the up and coming girls too.
Yes, she is. Absolutely. Should she collaborate with? She came out with her and performed with her. I saw her at the Apollo. I can't remember who it was though.
Yes, no, I know what you're talking about.
But also like I think there was just too much like animosity between her and Nicki that it like kind of like
there's
created
also a lot
something
more
where they
women in hip hop now.
So many more. Before it was just them two. Yeah. Where's Foxy Brown? Well, where is she?
Foxy's around. Okay. I'm friendly with her.
Oh, cool.
Knows everybody. Gabriel knows everybody.
I know.
Everyone.
Oh, by the grace of God and like
by the grace
clothes.
Of God. Wait, what?
By the grace of God and clothes.
And
like
clothes.
I know people because of clothes.
Right. Who else have you worked with? Just let everyone know because you've worked with everybody.
Well, pretty much everybody has worn,
Madonna.
They have pulled for her, but I don't think she's worn anything.
Okay.
But Lourdes.
Lourdes, of course. Yeah. Shout out to Lola.
We love her.
We really do. She's incredible.
But yeah, all the big girls have worn stuff from the archive. I'm more excited about like who have I gotten to collaborate with and like style and make. We did a photo shoot together that was like, my baby because it was like concept art direction.
It was
like
so great.
It was. R.I.P. to Paper Magazine.
Oh my God, I know.
Shocking. Vice and Paper, and was it ID also?
Media has just changed so much, obviously, but like Paper did it's so old that I can't find it. It's like, I don't even think it's like online. It's like just in print, and like I have a photo of it somewhere, but it was a picture of me pregnant. Okay, so this is 17 years ago.
Wow.
And it was an article, I think it was called like It Girl or something. And it was like about Married to the Mob. I was never an It Girl and I never will because I'm too much of an underdog. And like, I'm just not, it's true. I'm always like trying to like claw my way. It's like, I need to do something. Help me. Like, no, I'm serious. It's not, I feel like I can never win. It's just like me, just like.
But that's so much more charming to me.
Oh yeah, it's so charming. I'm so relatable.
Did you have thoughts on the It Girl story in New York Magazine?
I didn't read it, but I
didn't either, but that didn't stop me from having opinions.
No, but I don't know who was in it. I just saw Tinsley. Like, I don't know who they chose. What was it? Well, tell me your opinion, because Tinsley obviously she really is an It Girl.
I'm going to make an analogy here.
Yes,
and say that Tinsley is the Lil Kim of the socialite influencer world.
Love it.
She did create a lane that is like the blueprint for what a lot of these figures are doing these days,
Yes. They're not even right. And like these days, there is no like who could even do what Tinsley did? Like it doesn't exist because social media.
Right.
So now it's like you don't even have to be, you're like an influencer.
It's much more democratic that way, I guess.
It's actually annoying.
It is annoying.
I don't want democratic. I don't want I want socialites. I want like unattainable. Like that's
Fantasy,
who I want.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's more interesting.
I get
like
that.
You were born into this crazy fucking like wealthy family, and you're like at this like you're only at these events and no one else can go there. Not some influencer bullshit. Like all these like whack ass bitches that can't dress are like at like Paris Fashion Week. Like
I don't like that.
Straight up. Girls that I follow, I don't even follow anymore, but I would like follow some nerd who's like cooking on TikTok, whack style. I'm not following her because she dresses good. Following her because she makes cool food, and I want to like maybe make something or try to. And then the next thing I see is she goes from chopping up fucking celery to she's at Paris Fashion Week for whoever. I don't know who the fuck. And she's dressed head to toe. Like, look at me. No, I don't want to see you in this, girl. Like, I don't want to see you in this. I want to see like the rich bitches.
Right.
And the fucking fabulous, fucking unattainable. Like, I remember reading in Vogue when I was younger about a girl who went on a yacht trip and she put her bathing suit. It was her first time going on a yacht trip, and it was about all these fabulous people she was with and how she was learning how to be on a yacht from like the other people that she was with. And she learned, the girl who was like always on the yachts taught her that you put your bathing suit in like a Ziploc plastic bag, a new fresh bathing suit, when you swim from the yacht to the beach, and then you go eat. Before you sit down to eat, you change into your dry bathing suit so you don't get a yeast infection. And I was like, wow, these people like know what they're doing. Like they're like putting it in Ziploc bags and swimming and then changing in. And I'm like, that's what I want to read about. Just shit that's like not ever going to happen to me. Like,
You know, I do get that. I mean, I get the aspirational fantasy
I know we're all
aspect.
supposed to be inclusive now.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's not real.
not very-
You can't be inclusive and be Vogue. And like Vogue is Vogue. Vogue is like Anna Wintour is not inclusive.
you know what I will say? I'm working.
Include me.
Yeah, include me too. We can check a couple of boxes of,
Yeah.
scrappy underdog boxes.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say, like, inclusivity in like the fashion world and the entertainment industry. It's
Okay. Entertainment industry though, yes.
yeah.
Fashion world, it's bullshit. I
It's
don't
all-
believe it. It's so fake.
It's all front facing. It's not any like.
Because entertainment, you still have to be talented, right? You have to be
Presumably.
talented, presumably, yes.
Would
Like
be
you have to,
ideal.
You have to act, or you have to sing, or you have to whatever. But fashion,
You know what they do
bullshit.
that's inclusive is they.
and I'm not saying it shouldn't be.
No. Of course,
But it should be. But it's bullshit.
I mean, what they do in terms of inclusivity is with casting, and the front facing
Yeah.
kind of.
Right, but
stuff
what about
that
the people running
right? And
the
what
industry?
about like I'm prepping a shoot right now for somebody who is not sample size, and it's hard,
Right.
Like it shouldn't be hard because especially they've evolved the like visual idea of like being more inclusive, but it hasn't caught up with the actual practices in the industry,
Right, and what they're making the samples out
Right,
of. But
like-
I guess that'd be kind of hard. How many? Right, then what is a sample size? Like
Well-
it has to be one size or other. Maybe they need to make 3 different sample sizes, right?
I mean, that wouldn't hurt, but
No.
like honestly, also perhaps the sample size should be based more on what the average size of people is,
Right.
My
thing is like, what about just some like normal, average-looking people?
That would be nice.
That'd be interesting. Like not like too extreme one way or the other, right?
Yes.
Just some basic ass people, some regular ass bodies.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But yes, to your point, they make a good show about inclusivity, but like
Yeah.
the behavior hasn't really caught up to the image that,
No, of course not. Because at the end of the day, it's all very elitist, right? Obviously. I mean, Fashion Week is like a demoralizing time.
It brings out the worst in me.
It brings out the worst in me too. I'm not even going to fucking lie.
I get like so very like high school when I'm,
Same.
I get like so derailed in all of my attempts to be like mindful and, self-possessed where I'm like, wait a minute, who didn't invite me? Like what
Exactly.
friend didn't invite me to their show? Where did they put me in
Where
what
am I,
row?
what's
Like,
sitting? Where am I sitting? Why aren't they dressing me though? How am I going to go to the
Right.
show and not be dressed? Yeah, it's like, who do I think I am? I'm no one. Like, why would I be? Like,
well,
I
no,
don't-
of course you would belong in the front row. Like,
But it's like, but really, like, not. I mean, there's designers. I'm not naming who, but that I wear. I fucking like post. I love them. I'm such fans, and like, I don't get an invite to even. And I would go and just sit not in the front row just because
Oh,
I
no,
want to fucking see
for
their
sure.
shit. Because I'm a fan of fashion and
Totally.
their stuff.
I have to say, like, I mean, it stirs up all of this like
Insecurity,
emotion in
ego.
me, but I do try to not behave like a diva, even if my internal diva is like freaking out.
I would never either. I don't do that.
Like at Chloe Sevigny's sale the other weekend.
Oh my God, how I wanted to go so badly.
I was talking to everybody involved in the sale, and it was important to them that the line be democratic and no cutting, and like everybody wait. And
no matter who you are.
no matter who you are, which like
No, you put in too much work. You shouldn't have to wait. I'm sorry.
But I did wait,
If you were born in a New York City hospital, you get to the front of the line. Okay?
I did wait for a while, which gave me an opportunity to tell people how humble I am. But then fortunately somebody on the inside did come and grab me because I'd been waiting for like an hour and a half, and
That's too long.
she was like, I'm honestly worried that you won't get in by the time we close.
Was Chloe there?
Yeah. Oh, she was there like being lovely as always.
Oh, that's cool.
She was giving away like copies of her photo book, she was
Awesome.
doing the selfies and the autographs and, being very
So
like
cool.
cute and classy.
I only met her once, like years and years ago at like a bar or something, but
Beatrice.
I can't remember what it was. It had something to do with her brother. I think there was like a little like me and her had maybe exchanged words. It wasn't like anything like crazy. It was just like fight. It was something, you know, but whatever. It was like another lifetime ago. But I really just respect her. I mean, obviously, just her career has been so amazing. I just love that she hasn't had any plastic surgery. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like refreshing just to see like a fucking face that's like doesn't have. I mean, obviously she's beautiful and she doesn't need any anyway. But like, I was seeing some TikToks about like, this woman is over 40, like, and she looks great, and I'm like, you know what? That's great, but what if we also normalized like looking over 40, right? Because they were praising her for like looking who Chloe or no, just like some random TikToker. Right, like what if you're 40 and like you look 40? And you have wrinkles, because like all I see people praising really is like looking you're young. 40 but you look young, right? Well, that's 40 is nothing, by the way, right? Like, no, but it's a thing. It's like, oh wow, you look so great for having a kid, or you look like great for being age, 40. Oh, you look young, or you don't. Yeah, it's always about like looking youthful, but I think it's like 40, you're still like you're not old, so you don't want to look old, or at least for me, it's not old. That makes sense to me too. I mean, like also like we're like at when a place, I'm 60, I don't mind looking old, but until then, I really don't want to look old. I'm sorry, I just don't. We'll check back in when you are getting closer to 60 and check see back in. I'll have a couple facelifts by then. So, you're supposed to get your first one at like 45 or something. Oh yeah, I'm ready. I want it like next year. It's too soon. No, I don't. I mean, that's what the doctor said. Here I am being like, I love that she's had no plastic surgery, but she doesn't need it. I do. Ooh, no, you don't. Don't be silly, but like. Also, it's everybody's right to have it or not. Exactly. Like, I'm getting ready to go get pumped again. Like, let's get pumped. Yes. I was on a good like one surgery a year kick, and now like I've been trying to be more mindful of what I'm spending my money on. That's good. That's smart. So I was like, you know what? You don't need a lower bluff yet. Just chill. You could do without a lip lift. Your lip is gonna fall more. Just give it a couple more years, because I think I'd rather just get it all at one time. I'd rather get the facelift, lower bluff, and lip lift, but that might be too shocking. It might be shocking, but also too shocking. If you do it one at a time, it's like, did she do something or did she not? Even and that is nice when it's a little bit harder to tell. Because Kim K has had maybe 2 facelifts, not a neck, 5 nose jobs and a lip lift. I mean, it looks great on her, but she looks. I think she looks great. But what bothers me, to be honest, is the lying. The lying is absolutely insane. I think for like younger, more impressionable, less sophisticated, more like naive people who believe when they say, and didn't Kylie just say in like teaser for like the new season that she doesn't want her daughter overdone, or she said like something like I did too much or something. Well, but which is also like you can dissolve it like if you want to. She did so much more than just lips, obviously. I mean, she's a different face and like whatever, it's fine, but it's like just stop lying to us. She said something about like wanting to talk to her family about them contributing to unrealistic beauty standards, which I'm like, I hope they go there. Oh God, they've all been so like they're just purposely steadfast about their story, and they're sticking to it. Crazy. It's like, guys, we see your asses. Like, we see your ass. It is not natural. There's nothing. That is a deformity. You gave yourself a deformity. Why lie? Like, this is my attitude about so many things. Like, you know what? I was an original Wendy Williams fan from the radio days. Me too. And she had her book, where she had at the end of it, like, tips for successful living. And one of which was like, get the skeletons out of your own closet, because that way, she's like, I was a coke addict. I've had a lot of plastic surgery. That way, when people bring those things up, I can say, yeah, I've talked about it 100 times. Next question. Exactly. Like, you don't give people ammunition when you just like put your own truth out there. Exactly. You get ahead of it. I appreciate about you also in procedures. You're always, Thank you. I would never like do something and not tell my followers, right, that I've done it. I just feel like it's nothing to be ashamed of. No. It's a flex. It's a flex. I'm sorry. Like, I'm like showing off. I'm like, got my nose done. I got some money. Now, like, tell me this. Before you were on TV, did I ever think about getting plastic surgery? Yeah. I think that it felt like something. I wanted my nose done when I was like younger. Not younger, but like in my like late 20s or something. I remember like saying something to my dad and my mom, like, I want a nose job. And they're like, Leah, you don't like make money with your face. Your sister does. So if she ever wanted one, that would make sense. But for you, it doesn't make sense. Well, that's I think very practical. Yeah. Approach. Well, they're practical people. So I think that like I think it became much more, I didn't know like a lot of people with plastic surgery. And I think once I got put in that world of everyone has plastic surgery that I'm like now around, I'm like, oh, this is like actually attainable. And also plastic surgery just in the last few years really became something so mainstream, so talked about, so accessible. I used to think that it was only for like really rich people and like celebrities and that's it. Then I was like, well, I'm on TV, so I think it makes sense. And also I have to like look at myself all the time too, right? And like, you know, have pictures taken constantly and whatnot. But now I'm like, even whether I'm on TV or not, I'm going to continue getting plastic surgery.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I can't wait to afford more.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so much fun.
You know, I've only like tried filler and Botox at this point, but like, I'm working on a big job right now, and I'll tell you, when I get paid for this job, I'm getting in for the yank and the lipo.
You're gonna get it. Yeah, you're gonna make it rain. Yeah. You're gonna spend all that money.
No. I'm gonna save a lot of it.
Okay, good. That's important.
I am gonna save a lot of it. I want to make sure I'm saving at least equal amount that I'm spending on frivolous things. But I'll tell you, like, my grandmother is an advocate for plastic surgery.
Good for her.
Has been suggesting that I go to the student clinic for a nose job since I was like 12, because she got one of those studenty nose jobs for like $200 in the 60s.
Oh my God, I didn't even know that there were. I mean, I knew there was student like dentists,
when you go to the Bumble and Bumble like training facility and get a free haircut.
But where's the student plastic surgery?
I don't know, but I don't think we need to be going there.
No, I can't go there, but it sounds tempting.
But you know, we were talking because she did tell me a couple of years ago that I could use a lower facelift. And I think what she means is just like, you know, like neck lipo and whatever, which like, yes, is something that bothers me a lot. But what she said was like, if there is something that you really don't like about yourself and it's within your power to change it, like, why not?
Why not, you know? Right? Totally.
Like, I don't think it's going to make me necessarily more at peace or a happier person or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't do that, actually. It really doesn't,
but
sadly.
It might make me like my jaw more.
Yeah. Like, I like my boobs more. Have I found inner peace? No. Not at all. Did my anxiety
really
go away?
Through boobs? You didn't find peace through boobs?
Do I like my nose in photos better? Yes. I still have anxiety, though.
I mean, if I fear some people are expecting it to change their whole life.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And as long as I think you have a realistic expectation, then, you know, what's really the harm?
What do you think about these social media accounts that like call out the celebrities for lying about plastic surgery and do the beef, you know, show the side by sides and like constantly like part of it seems a little cruel to me.
Yes.
Like, it's good because it shows people the truth, but then it also teeters on borderline cruel.
I see both sides.
Same.
Like, for me, I mean, these accounts seem to be typically more anonymous, you know, whoever's running them. I know that for me, like, I couldn't be okay with making my whole brand about, like, calling people out.
Yeah, oh my God.
Like, whether it's, you know, people
Diet
who call
Prada.
out. Yeah, well, I wasn't going to say, but yeah.
I am.
Like, I wouldn't be comfortable making my what all that I'm producing and putting out into the world about like policing other people and stuff.
It's fucking crazy. What kind of fucking weird energy
also,
does that
like,
kind of bring back to you?
There's been a real shift since, you know, the reign of Paris Hilton. Like, this is not, I never considered it to be cool, but like, it was more socially acceptable. It was really popular in, you know, our culture. And it's not, you know, like bullying in that way is like much more looked down upon now. Yeah. Thankfully.
Yeah.
But,
well, these people think that they're social justice kind of, right? They think that they're kind of warriors of calling out the people who deserve to be called out and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, don't throw stones. Wait, what is it? Don't throw stones if you live in a glass house. Because I'm sure everyone lives in a glass house. We all do.
Well, what I will say, though, I do see the other side with the, like, celebrity retouching and before and afters. Like,
which is, because it's nice to see it. It's like, oh, I'm not, like, I actually am not, like, as ugly as I thought I was. This is not what this person really looks like.
No, and I just, like I said before, you know, there are people, you know, I don't want to sound, like, elitist, but let's say there are people, perhaps, like, not in New York or LA, who are less, you know, savvy about like retouching and plastic surgery and all of this stuff, and like might believe them all when they say, you know, unretouched photo, untouched face. Also, I feel like housewives have this tendency also to be like, I haven't had plastic surgery. I've had filler. I've had lipo. That's not plastic surgery.
Right. And it's like, well, you know, I started getting my lips done when I was like 30. So I was getting it So I guess I was doing things before. I just like didn't imagine like getting cut open, you know, and I was always kind of, and I'd never had surgery in my life.
Really?
So it was scary to think about going under. And
What was your first one?
My nose.
Your nose.
That was my first surgery ever. I fucking jumped off the operating table before the meds kicked in and was freaking out. I was like, I can't do this. I'm too scared to be knocked out because I'm a control freak, you know? And then they're like, just count to 10. I was like, no. And I was like, oh. But I literally, they were like, oh, like holding me down, because the crazy thing is like you just walk into the operating room and it's scary looking, like it's fucking scary, and you're like, well, that's the bed. I'm just laying in there and they're just cutting me open in there. It's fucking terrifying, you know? It's like, I don't know, it's a little scary. And then, but you know, by the time I did the boobs, I didn't really care, but I was like, when's my next one, you know?
I had surgery as a child and I woke up like during it and tried to push them off of me.
No.
I mean, it must have been like right after they gave me the anesthesia.
Wow.
But I had like, you know, gone under, and then I woke up and was like, ew, stop.
What?
Yeah.
Were they cutting you open at the time?
I have to assume so. I mean, I was like
scary.
6 or 7. Yeah, it was scary, but I survived.
You survived. I was going to say, I just read that Megan Fox came out and talked about having body dysmorphia.
Interesting.
And she said that she never sees herself the way people see her. I mean, this is one of the hottest women in the world. I mean, really, like, she's fucking so hot. It's crazy. Like, what the fuck? Also has had a lot of work done. But she said she's never going to be happy with her body. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, what? Wow. Because it's not about her body.
Right. It's not about her body.
It's not about her body.
And like, that's why doing also all the work to the body and the face and everything is not gonna like.
You got to be doing the inner work,
exactly.
people. You got to be working on that soul also.
Yes,
like,
where
do
is
both.
That soul filler.
Yeah, exactly. I do the soul filler. I have a healer.
Good.
She came over 2 days ago. I have the therapist. You know, it's like, you know, I mean, I have to do all that self-care stuff. Are you in therapy? Do you do any soul healing?
I have been in therapy on and off really since like the age of 4 or 5. I come from a therapy family, like you.
Like,
you know, I mean, my mom
we have so many like,
we have a lot of things
similarities.
in common.
It's crazy.
And August Virgos.
Yep. Wait, you're August what?
31st.
Okay.
You're the 27th.
Mm-hmm.
My mother is not a therapist, but she used to be an art therapist, so she has psychology, you know, background.
Got it.
And yeah, I mean, therapy, like always, you know. I stopped going during quarantine.
When you probably needed it the most. No, I'm just kidding.
No, to be honest, part of what I liked about it, though, was like leaving the house. Like, my therapist was on the Upper West Side, so it would be like a good hour train ride, like there and back. And, you know, honestly, that's where I would like learn my Lil Kim routines, like on the train, because
we need to talk about
we can talk about
also.
That. But I like, you know, very sensitive person, so I get overstimulated on the train.
Yes.
So I would like love tapping into just like memorizing 60 seconds of like lyrics, instead of getting like absorbed with all of the other crazy stuff that happens
going
on the subway
around you. I know.
One of my assistants was on the train with somebody smoking heroin the other day.
I saw 2 people smoking crack the other day, but that was not in the train. It was outside the train. But just someone was smoking crack, and then it was in a park, and then it was broad daylight. It was like 3 p.m. And then there was another table of 2 kids doing homework, and the crackhead was smoking the crack pipe next to it.
You remember how many crack vials there used to be on the street in the 90s?
So many. And also fucking, there were also like the popper, like there was like do you remember those like silver, like I feel like those were like inhalants, like those would the CO2, what the fuck, those like silver, that shit, like during recess when I went to St. Joseph's in the West Village, like when they would block off the street for recess, it was full of like drug paraphernalia that we'd be playing in. It was insane. What was that CO2 shit? What was that? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it was these little skinny silver vials. They used to insert them into like pellet guns, but you should crack it open and sniff it and inhale it. Like you just take a big shot of it. Oh man, we all grew up in the same era. Like we all grew up in the same kind of time. And
we did.
Like you think about New York back then to now, and like we used to have the crack vials in the street. I remember going to the park and I used to see a puddle of water, and it would be nothing but like red tops and yellow and the crack.
Yeah,
the little vials.
The thing too, they were all colorful and like fun looking.
Yeah,
very like kid appealing.
Remember all like the sex like stuff that was like in New York, and and like the sex workers on the street, like prostitutes would be on the street walking
I would assume
around.
I remember seeing sex workers by where you grew up.
Oh yeah, on 11th Avenue. I feel like I've talked about this on the podcast, that there was like, I had a bus driver who would did I ever talk about this on the podcast?
No.
There was, my bus driver would purposely, it was a kid's bus, you know, it wasn't like a public bus. He would take 11th Avenue down to drop me off so he could say hi to all of his friends. And he called one of the women Tree Stumps. I don't know what's up with that name, but he'd be like, hey, Tree Stumps. I'm like, but these women looked beautiful. I remember really thinking like, wow, these women are powerful. Like these men are fucking trying to see them and talk to them. And I was kind of like fascinated, honestly.
Man.
I was like, I want to be a hooker when I grow up.
Tree Stumps.
I would love to know how she got that name.
Me neither. I don't know.
We had one who, like, my corner was her corner.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I grew up like on the East River in a desolate area.
Right.
That's also a truck route still.
Right.
So the truckers like love, you know, there's
love getting
all these
it
empty
on.
lots you can pull into.
Yeah.
Like you just, you know, make your stop, you pick up your friend,
Have some fun. Yeah.
But then she was gone.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know all those like shows on HBO? They used to have all those.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Real
Like
Sex and
Hunts
like
Point,
Taxi.
the Hunts Point.
Hookers at the Point.
Hookers.
Yep.
Is that Hookers
Yeah,
at
it
the
was
Point? Oh,
Hookers at
that
the
was
Point,
a
yeah.
good show.
Yes, it was.
Yes, I'm gonna rewatch that.
I'm gonna rewatch that too.
My mother actually lived in Hunts Point.
Really?
Back in the 70s.
Wow.
Yeah, because after she went to LaGuardia, she moved out when she was like.
She went to
15 or
LaGuardia
16.
High School?
Yeah, she went to LaGuardia.
Oh my God, that is so cool.
And she moved out when she was like a teenager with her best friend from LaGuardia, Carmen, whose mother was like a santera, like Santeria,
Oh my God.
like priestess, into the South Bronx, and you know was hanging around.
It's crazy to think our parents' experience, I mean, all of our parents' experiences growing up in New York, which they all did. And my parents grew up in the West Village in Chelsea.
I grew up in Gowanus.
So where'd your mom grow up?
In Brooklyn, same area.
She
My
grew up
mom was
in-
born and raised Brooklyn.
Right. I mean, because like New York in the 60s and 70s was insane.
Insane.
It was crazy.
I mean,
But the
80s
amount
too.
of, yeah, the 80s was crazy also, but just the amount of, but also like there was so much culture that there just isn't now. Like there still is, like it's New York, but there's a sterileness about it,
I was just
right?
gonna say, it
There's a
feels sterile.
sterileness, you know.
It is. I
It's
mean,
like cookie cutter.
It's because of
Yeah.
social media, though. Social
Even-
media, the internet, it has something to do with it. It's sterilized everything.
Yeah.
It's not just New York. Everything is sterile.
That's true. It's not. Yeah, it's not just New York. Although, like, they can never like leave well enough alone in New York. You know, like there's gonna be no neighborhood ungentrified by a certain point. You
No,
know,
of course. There's
like
because there's nowhere to go because the prices of everything are so astronomical.
they're building in my neighborhood an like 8,000 square foot Hermes store and a Chanel.
What?
Yeah, and
No.
I think Proenza is also opening a store there.
Well, that makes a little more sense.
A little more sense,
right? But still,
this giant like Hermes huge store.
8,000 square.
Yeah, that's
feet.
like 4 times the size of my studio.
What the fuck? By the way, Kiki wants us to move to Brooklyn.
Interesting.
She's
Nobody
like-
wanted that when I was
She's
growing
like,
up.
I want to be a Brooklyn girl. I was like, well, you're already a Manhattan girl. You're 16. You can't just move to Brooklyn at 16 and say you're a Brooklyn girl.
How
Sorry.
things change though, because nobody wanted to like.
I don't want to
come
move to Brooklyn, honestly.
They used to
but
make
if-
fun of Brooklyn. Even in Sex and the City, they made fun of
I
Brooklyn.
don't wanna
For
go.
sure. In Brooklyn, blah, blah,
I don't
blah.
want to move to
In
Brooklyn.
this in that Delusional Downtown Divas show that I did, you know, with Lena.
Can we watch that somewhere? Is it on? Where is it?
I think it is online. It might
I
be
would
on YouTube
only
or
move to
something.
Williamsburg, though.
Williamsburg is so played now.
I don't
though.
care though. That's where that's where my friends, people I know live there. I'm not moving to the boondock. I'm not going to Park Slope. It's a bunch of
kinda nice, though.
but people with young.
But
it's
Williamsburg
like a family
is family
place
now too. It's like so
Really?
family. It's like
I feel like it's a hot girl summer place.
it could be. I mean, sure, there's like places to have fun and stuff.
Oh, yeah, you want to
but-
be in Domino Park. Like sunbathing in
What's
Domino
that?
Park. That's
Oh,
like,
it's
what's that?
where they made Domino's
Is that where the
Sugar
domino
Factory.
thing is? Oh yeah.
That's
into
where you
this,
wanna be.
Like, very
Really?
zhuzhed up park.
Are there hot guys there?
Yeah. And
Everyone-
as soon as it
everyone's
gets
pretty
What
much
about
naked.
McCarran?
No,
No hot guys there.
I just don't. I haven't.
Can you see me living in Williamsburg or not really?
I could see it. Yeah,
Okay.
I could see it. Why not? But I couldn't really see other parts of Brooklyn for you. I don't think.
I know, same.
I mean,
like maybe
Dumbo?
Dumbo,
Yeah.
right? But Dumbo, I don't like because there's no good trains. I like trains.
Well, Williamsburg
nothing
kind of
there,
sucks
yeah.
for trains too.
but the L train,
Yeah,
and then you get to everything at Union
that's
Square.
true.
Boom.
That's true. Yeah, I was always like, no, it literally takes me like 3 minutes to get to Manhattan when I always like was trying to overcompensate for living in Brooklyn.
Right. Well, that's
but on that
that's
delusional
also
downtown
that's amazing.
divas,
though.
like you know, they had an episode where they have to go to Brooklyn, and I have to explain to them like how to do it. And I really played it up too. I was like, okay, are your passports current? Like, do you have your immunizations?
That's funny. I'm going to Bushwick tonight.
Oh yeah, for comedy.
Yes. How did you know that?
You said.
Oh, I told you already.
What's in Bushwick?
The Cobra Club I'm going to.
Sweet.
Yeah, my friend's performing there.
Interesting.
If anyone wants to come, I'll
Sweet.
be out there. Yeah.
Bushwick is actually is a renaissance now.
Oh, absolutely.
My mom wouldn't allow me to go there when I was a kid. Now it's like, go for a great sandwich or get an artisan donut, which is crazy.
Or
So crazy.
Roberta's Pizza.
oh,
Is
yeah.
that Brooklyn? I mean,
Yeah.
is that Bushwick?
Yeah. Roberta's is
Well, they
very
have one
good.
in
I
Domino
can't live
Park
in
now,
Bushwick.
too.
That's
They have
like too
Roberta's in Domino
teenager.
Park?
Yeah.
Wow.
Kiki's like sending me houses like in Bed-Stuy and stuff, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna be part of the gentrification
Yeah.
of Bed-Stuy. Like, I'm just not. Like, I'm not doing it. Like,
It's funny, like, you know, I had friends in Bed-Stuy growing up, and, you know, their mother, like, told them not to bring white friends home just
Yeah.
because she thought it was dangerous.
yeah.
But meanwhile, when I was growing up, my father was living in Crown Heights, not very far away, like
Right.
a stop or two away. I don't know.
Isn't
like,
Crown Heights all Hasidic now, kind of, or?
it's always has been a mix
mixture.
because there's
Right.
a lot of Caribbean people too, like
Right.
Jamaican and other Caribbean community
Sometimes
there.
they don't get along.
You get
Sometimes they don't.
You get good doubles there. Like you get those like roti and everything. It's really good.
yeah.
Really good stuff there.
The Golden
It's
Crust.
honestly amazing the kind of food that we can get, like in
I know, we're
New York.
spoiled.
We're so spoiled.
We can
The
get
best of everything.
anything, yeah, not just food, anything really.
Anything.
You guys are
anything
making me go-
except
like, 'cause
anything except stable, emotionally stable, rich hot man.
Like, is that a New York problem or is that a all over the world problem?
I don't know because I only stay here
You just feel like it's a New York problem. You feel like it's a New York problem.
because I'm in New York.
I was
So.
like, you give me so many memories. My mom, when I was younger, where we grew up, it was like a heavy prostitute, poor neighborhood. My
You said
mom,
Gowanus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to dance at this place, the Gowanus Arts Exchange.
I know exactly where it is.
Okay, yeah, so I was like dancing there when I was like 11, 12.
Oh,
So you saw it when it was rough.
I
rough.
did. And Williamsburg was like pretty similar at the
Yeah,
time.
my mom used to hand out bars of ivory soap because it was cheap to all the prostitutes.
That's sweet.
She used to say like, at least just stay clean, like make sure you're
Right.
washing yourself. And I remember as a little boy, I'd go home because our neighborhood was so poor. Our train station, people knew it was like the poor train station. I would get embarrassed and get off on the train stop after and then walk back home. But I remember
That's
walking
sad.
home with a friend of mine, and then all the prostitutes, they used to call me Little Joey.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Little Joey, tell your mom. And I would be so embarrassed because you didn't
Oh,
want
right,
to
right,
be in
right.
front of your friends and the prostitutes because my mom gave them soap. That's how poor our neighborhood was. Like she would like give them like extra food and things like that. It was crazy. Our neighborhood.
I feel like we're not allowed to say prostitute anymore.
Sex workers.
But I think it's
Oh, you're not?
ridiculous. No, because
Oh, okay.
prostitute. Why? We're giving it too much. We're making it. Why are we making it a bad thing? Why is
Right,
sex worker?
that's-
It's the same thing.
also,
Yeah,
like,
but
you know what I mean?
people
I agree with you, by the way.
But there's a lot of things like that. Like that. I guess there's so much stigma that's also attached to the word prostitute. But it's because we as a society have put all those negative connotations.
Well, and even if we change the language now, if we continue to put negative connotations, in a couple
there's no
generations we'll have to
difference.
change it again.
Right?
because-
There's no difference exactly because it's like it's not about the word. It's about like the way you're like talking about the person.
Yeah.
So if you're speaking about prostitutes in a respectful way, and then what's the problem? If you're saying dumb hooker,
Right.
that's a different story. Or like idiot alcoholic or whatever. Fucking.
Like you can't say porn star. You have to say adult
What?
entertainment.
No, come on, porn star. That's
Like,
fucking.
that's the thing. It's bad.
I don't know, porn star. That's like a great. I think that's a great thing, a great title. I don't know. Oh my god! But also, it's also because I think it's because there's so many kinds of sex work now that prostitute is more. You imagine someone walking the streets and back pages of like whatever.
Yeah.
But now there's like cam girls and OnlyFans and there's sex workers.
Yeah.
But
Listen, I know plenty of people who sell feet pictures.
well, I wanted to start doing that because
I mean,
I
why
honestly
not?
have
Wait,
great
what?
feet. I have great feet.
Oh, pretty, yes.
Yeah, and
Don't
make money
don't
off
give
that?
free foot pictures on this podcast.
I'm hiding in my Birkenstocks.
Do 1 foot photo. Just do
No,
one
no, because I don't have my. Well, I'll do my. Well, I just cut my own toenails. I'm getting a new pedi today, but I do have good. I have pretty feet because my toes go down even.
Wow.
Like it's not like one long. It's not like one toe's longer than the other. My sister. I always say my sister got the prettier face, but I got prettier feet.
We're gonna get 1 million downloads just from her foot right now. Oh my god, Leah pulled her foot out in minute 35:18.
You know they have like celebrity foot wiki. Like
That's
you can like look up anybody's
That's wild.
foot picture. I think.
That's wild.
Like if you wear open-toed shoes.
How much are women making from these foot pictures?
I think it probably depends on the quality of foot and also like what they're doing with them.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna have a dick in between my feet.
No, but I feel like there's all kinds of things people like stepping on a cake or like.
Oh, I'll
I
step
don't
on a
know.
cake.
Like if you can imagine it, somebody has a taste for it.
I would do that. I would
Yeah,
get it.
why not?
I would dabble in a little sex work if that was what it was. That's sex work.
I mean, I think under
that's
the
a type
umbrella.
we're all sex workers in a way.
I guess.
I mean, I'm really not because I like date poor guys, so I'm not a sex worker. But women who marry rich men, this is like my take, is like women who marry rich men and will only date rich men. That is a form of sex work because you're taking out everything and you're saying, well, I'm only dating a rich man. I'm not going to give anyone else a chance. You are this is a transaction.
You know who said it best, I think, was in Paris is Burning, Venus Extravaganza said, if a suburban housewife wants a washer-dryer set, there's certain things she does in order to get that washer-dryer set. And that's really no different than what I do.
Love that.
It's a good point. Man. It's a good point.
Powerful. And what a great impression.
Thank you.
Let's talk about your alter egos.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Because if you go on Gabriel's Instagram, you will see amazing videos.
Thank you. I feel like you just said you're Beyonce, and I said thank you.
Yeah,
It's like
because I did. Because I did. And I especially obviously love when you do Lil Kim.
Thank you. I mean, Lil Kim is the one that just like is most in the pocket for me because I already know most of the songs.
Can you do like a little 30-second? Not right now.
No, not a cappella. I don't
Not
think.
a cappella? Okay. I had to ask.
Let me think about it. Maybe at the end, maybe I'll take us out with one.
But tell us where she came from, who she is, why you do this. Like,
well, I always was drawn to, you know, what is considered women's clothing. You know, like a lot of us, I think, like end up, you know, in the dress up box at preschool, you know, before we've been told like that's wrong.
Putting on the little heels.
Putting on the heels, exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, I remember like when I was informed by society or like teachers or parents that was not correct.
They don't do that anymore.
Oh, good.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I mean, why really?
Kids should be able to play with whatever the fuck they want.
I agree.
Right?
And like also, they're worried about, you know, grooming children, except for if they want to groom them the way they want to groom them.
I mean, I used to put makeup all over my brother and put him in women's clothing, and he didn't turn gay from that.
Yeah.
My father got really mad at me, though.
People don't really turn gay. I mean,
They don't, of course
either
not.
You are
They
or you're
don't,
not.
exactly. Either are or you're not, just like whatever.
But
there's a spectrum, of course, of sexuality and stuff. But
of course,
yes,
but yeah.
when you're gay, you're gay. When you're straight, you're straight.
Yeah,
That's
and really not anything you're going to wear or watch or
is going to make a difference.
Yeah. But at any rate, I continued to be drawn to all of that stuff, even, you know, after society informed me that that was inappropriate for my, you know, sex or whatever. And also when you're like young and skinny and pretty, it's much easier to throw on a wig and just like, since we're from like the 90s, black eyeliner and like some lip gloss and just be a girl, be a pretty girl. But in terms of the performing, I think like, you know, I only perform at home in my bathroom
in your
typically.
bathroom. Yep, that's right.
Which was an acoustic, you know, choice, but but now it's become kind of part of the whole like
it is
package.
Yeah.
And I think probably the performing, you know, I was always like walking down the street in Brooklyn, you know, being Lil Kim in my mind, in my earphones.
Yeah.
It was always my music video too, and I always had this plot like, because my neighborhood heavily Latino.
Yeah.
Like in the 80s, it was known as Los Sures, like the South Side, you know, mostly Dominican, Puerto Rican neighborhood. So in my fantasy of my music
you in
video,
South Williamsburg?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's very, Mhm.
Yes. Less Polish, more Puerto Rican.
A lot of Puerto Rican, a lot of Dominican.
Yes.
Very
and
cool.
I grew up like idolizing the Puerto Rican girls, and I really had a real, like, my own Rachel Dolezal fantasy going on.
We all did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
All the white
girls.
white kids growing up in New York did.
Well, also I was like, I found it much
like
more
door knockers and brown lip liner, obviously.
I mean, because I was going for like, archetypal Latina girl though, like the Tims with the tight jeans, the like bubble coat.
I'm still doing that.
Nameplate.
That's not white. No. That's also, it's New York. It's very New York.
Very New York, that's
but
true.
it definitely obviously came from those women for sure.
But so I always like, definitely my aesthetic in all ways has been inspired by New York and black and brown people.
Same.
And I guess, my fantasy though in my music video was like that a car would drive by playing salsa, and that would be like the salsa breakdown in the middle of the video. But when I was in college, I was doing all of this like performance art and video art that was inspired by Beyonce, because I just found her to be like, first of all, I was like a original stan from the beginning, and I just found her to be like such a encapsulation of so many like things that reflect our culture, very like self-produced,
extremely,
very like, has constructed the Beyonce identity.
Yes.
And there, I mean, if you're interested in like identity politics or like performative identity or anything, she is very interesting through that lens and other lenses too. I also like enjoy just to watch her be Beyonce.
Right. No, but can you speak more on, it's interesting because, and like, she is very, she won't really do any press.
Yeah.
She won't do press unless she has like the full,
Well, and even when like she did that HBO thing like a while ago where it was very much like Beyonce presents Beyonce being emotionally vulnerable, brought to you by Beyonce.
Right.
Like, so she cried, but like she's
Virgo.
the director. Yeah, Virgo.
Yeah.
Control.
And
also like not to go off track. I'm curious too with your Virgo and control tendencies and your, relationship with alcohol disuse disorder. What's it called?
Alcohol use disorder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever find like that part of the lure of like substances was to relinquish control that it's hard to let go of as like a neurotic Virgo?
Absolutely.
Because I definitely like find that for myself.
It was to escape myself and forget myself.
Yeah, just quiet everything down a little bit, all the voices.
Yeah.
Not literal voices.
No, not actual voices. But yeah, I'm one of the most neurotic fucking people. Yeah.
Well, welcome to the Jewish faith.
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm like I'm a Jew. Yeah. Like I'm a Jew. I'm Irish. I'm so neurotic. It's fucking sick.
But to finish answering your question, I guess, right, so I was fascinated with the Beyonce hair whips. And so, like, one of the things I did in art school, which, by the way, like, reading theory and taking copious amounts of Adderall is, like, a lethal combination.
What are the hair whips about? Is there a deeper meaning, do you think, that's behind the hair whips?
I don't.
Okay.
I mean,
they're just hot.
Wrote extensively about this and her use of wind machines and various other things related to her hair. But like I was interested in the hair whips. I had been studying conceptual art in a very like a lot of rhetoric and like very rigid way. So by the time I got like further in my academic career or whatever, I was more interested in like, it just makes me feel something when she whips her hair, and I'm like, don't need to intellectualize it. Like, totally can just engage in it. But then of course I did have to like deconstruct it and make like art about it. But I would portray Beyonce in these videos of like, they were ahead of their time, I have to tell you. And if like TikTok had been around, like they would have probably, because they were entertainment.
Are you on TikTok?
I am now on TikTok. Yeah.
I'll start following you because you have to be putting those videos.
Yes,
oh wait, I think I do follow you on TikTok, but you have to start putting your Okay,
well, I also need to give these videos more often because honestly, from start to finish, the whole process is like 5 or 6 hours. I gotta like,
it's a lot of time.
Learn the song. I gotta make the instrumental. I gotta like figure out the hair, makeup, wardrobe, lighting, edit, record.
All of it.
I gotta get all those lyrics right after like 4 martinis.
Right.
That's where we unlock also some of her like, ferociousness.
Yes.
But it's mainly just fun. Also, like, I guess I only do it when I want to do it, and it hasn't like crushed the, joy out of it for me.
Right.
By making it like, Pringles presents like,
I know,
me rapping about like Pringles or something.
Exactly. It hasn't become like a commodity or, it hasn't become like, some corporate fucking
And I think that like
ad.
there's a thing about it that is like pretty earnest, you know, like I'm not like, yes, I'm being jokey, but like I am actually really like living my fantasy.
I
and
know.
like,
No,
you know,
you are.
And
I feel
sometimes,
it.
you know, I sing to like mixed reviews. Some people, you know,
What do you mean? What the fuck? What?
you know what? Actually, only one of my real life close friends has ever been like a real bitch about my vocal quality.
You're great.
Thank you.
And it's hard.
It is hard.
It is hard.
It is hard. But you know what? You know what? How it also started was I used to, like I said, go to therapy on the Upper West Side and take that time, like, you know, memorizing songs. And then when I would get home, I would like exercise any residual like emotions that came up through these little performances, you know,
Right.
where I get to be like queen bitch.
Exactly. When I'm feeling beat down or like emotional in a way where I need to listen to Lil Kim or Ice Spice or watch Kill Bill.
Or watch Kill Bill. Oh yes, I had plenty of movies like that myself.
I've been really listening, and I know that like SZA's album came out like 3 months ago or something, but I just started listening to it like a couple weeks ago. SOS. It's amazing.
I'll give it a listen.
Oh my God, it's really fucking good. Like, holy shit.
FYI, you guys are gonna get a Taylor Swift Ice Spice collab.
I know.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, it's happening.
Am I the only person that isn't into Taylor? I don't know one
No,
song
I'm not
except
into Taylor Swift.
Never, Ever, Ever.
I
Getting
don't even
back.
know that one.
That's
I know,
the only one.
What, Shake It Off? I know that
Oh yeah,
one.
Shake It Off. And then like Bad Blood or something.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
that's
even
the
know.
song.
Yeah, that one. But I don't know. I know, but everyone I know loves Taylor Swift. I'm like, I feel left out.
I honestly don't have an opinion on Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion either. I'm just like, but so many people love her. She must be great. People love her.
Well, people have, you know, dubious taste sometimes too. Like, I'm not saying she's bad. I'm just saying, like, you know, whenever
Like, it doesn't mean like.
if I go visit my mom and we try to pick something to watch on TV, she'll be like, "Oh, but the rating is so high on this," and I'm like, "But you trust everybody's taste who's rating
Yeah,
this?"
that's true. That's true. Wait, so Ice Spice and Taylor Swift doing a collab?
Yeah. And
Wow, good for Ice Spice.
I mean, you can cut this
Huge.
part if you choose to, but Taylor's boyfriend said some shit about Ice Spice on a podcast that was like way out of pocket.
What?
He referred to her, I think,
Oh,
as
hell no.
that chubby Chinese rapper girl.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
He did not call her a
He
chubby
called her
Chinese
that Inuit,
rapper girl.
Inuit Spice, chubby Chinese rapper girl.
Who the hell is Taylor Swift's boyfriend?
I don't know.
Her boyfriend insulted her. His name is Matt Healy.
Is that why she's doing a song with
Yeah,
him now?
so is this a coincidence? Taylor Swift is teaming up with Ice Spice after her boyfriend, now ex-boyfriend,
This
Matt
is a
Healy,
PR
insulted
move.
the rapper.
This is a PR move on Taylor Swift's part.
Big deal.
Smart. She's
Yeah.
like, you know what? Now I'm going to bless you with a fucking song to do with me because my boyfriend is a piece of shit.
And the
But
song's going to live on forever. He'll have to listen to this song forever, the ex-boyfriend.
I hope that
Yeah,
Ice
yeah.
Spice makes a lot of money off this
Me
song.
too. You know what? I hope that for
And
her.
I hope she saves it and invests it.
That's one thing I do have to say about like all of the flexing for the gram and like the way that, you know, reality stars
Yeah.
do all this smoke and mirrors stuff is
Yep.
like, you gotta save some money.
Yeah.
Like, there's a stylist I follow who works with like really big clients, but every time I see him post, he is wearing 6 figures worth of clothes and jewelry, you know?
It's like, come on.
And I'm just
Jewelry
like,
is like the biggest waste of fucking money. I'm sorry. That's like insane. Like it's,
well, the
it's
people like
insane.
investing in their Birkins.
Well, like, okay, I get it. Like, Birkins are going up for now. And, like, you know, oh, the Rolexes are worth more now. But
yeah,
normally,
but do you,
like, it's
never
not,
carry it, never wear it?
Right, exactly. No, I'm sorry. Like,
don't get
index
it.
funds, like Roth IRAs, like, let's be real.
You know, another
Joe's a very
thing-
savvy investor. I
Good.
learned this a
Save
couple
everything.
weeks ago.
I save everything. If I make $100, 31% goes into a savings or some sort of strategic reinvestment.
That's a good percentage.
Please be my financial advisor.
I realized though that like, so Carrie Bradshaw did lie to us, or like she gave us this idea about
She did.
I like
She's
my money where I
judgmental,
can
too.
see it hanging in my closet.
Right.
And of course I can relate to that because my house is my closet
Yeah.
and it's full of things that give me pleasure to look at.
Right.
But I, you know, when I started not being like flat broke all the time and like saving money, I realized it felt good to like have, you gotta,
Oh, my God. I love seeing
another
money
Wendy
in my
Williams
bank
tip
account.
was always have your fuck you money.
Yeah.
So that you can say, you know what, fuck you, I don't need this job.
Exactly.
Or, fuck you, I'm going to take a cab out of here. Like, I have my money to do that.
Yep.
But then, like, I realized this past year that I did not spend enough money and I didn't have enough tax deductions.
Oh.
So,
that's
like, you
an
do
issue.
got to spend some of it
So
too.
you owe
Yeah, you
some.
do. Yeah, you gotta.
I owed, yeah, plenty. That's also, reality stars and everybody else, pay your taxes.
Oh my God.
The Drag Race girls, some of them get in trouble for not paying their taxes.
It's,
and
well, because the other thing is this: if your show is paying you through like a corporation, they're not taking any taxes out of it.
Right.
You have to do that, and you're thinking, "Oh, I just got a check for $100,000." No,
you didn't.
You got a check for 50 or 65. You know what I mean? Like that's what you got a check for. Like. And that's hard. It's hard. You have to do that on your own, or you need a financial person to do that. But like, what is your, it's really up to you. Okay.
Dear.
We've been chatting for a while. This was amazing.
Oh, I had such a fun time.
Please come back.
Anytime.
Soon I'll be a Brooklyn girl. Just kidding. I don't know.
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Oh, I don't know. We'll see. My lease is up in August, so I don't know where I'm going to go. I may stay, but maybe I won't. Do I need to do any announcements or anything? Oh, you know what? Please email us at the Leah McSweeney Show at gmail.com. I'm sure you have questions. I'm sure you have comments. Maybe you need me to give you some advice because like I just have it all together and you probably want to hear how I did it. And thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week.